Number 1. Playing dumb to live well. When people hear playing dumb, many instinctively respond, "I can't fake it, I'm really smart." But that very response reveals the problem. In society, showing your full capabilities is like handing a burglar your house blueprint. The Japanese have a concept called hone and tatame, what you truly think versus what you show outwardly. Those who understand life know how to keep their tatame just naive enough to avoid triggering others' jealousy radar. Interestingly, psychology calls this the strategic, feigned ignorance, where you deliberately downplay yourself to ease social pressure and observe from a safe position. Especially in the workplace, playing dumb lets you hear more, see hidden networks that overly showy smart people miss, and when it's time to decide or counterattack, the surprise effect doubles the impact. This kind of stupidity is really wisdom in a wool sweater, soft and warm, keeping you safe through the storms of gossip and politics. Number 2. Hiding wealth to stay safe. Having money and letting everyone know is like walking through a crowded market with a bag of gold on your shoulder. Not everyone is congratulating you. Many eyes are just calculating how to take it cleanly. Sociological research shows that flaunting wealth creates a double-edged effect. On one side, admiration, on the other, envy, and a sense of threat. The danger lies in that second edge, which can turn ordinary relationships into quiet rivalries, or even open conflicts. Truly wealthy people often choose to live simply, not because they can't spend, but because they understand the importance of controlling personal information. Keeping life looking ordinary shields you from prying eyes, shady partnership offers, urgent loans that are hard to refuse, and relationships aimed solely at your wallet. Society may adore flashy appearances, but it's silence that forms the most effective wall around your assets. Hiding wealth isn't about erasing achievements, it's about letting your riches serve you for the long term, instead of becoming bait that attracts trouble. Number 3. Daring to trust after being deceived. Being deceived once makes many people lock their trust away like a safe, thinking it will keep them secure. But in reality, closing that door completely is like locking yourself in a sealed room safe from the draft, but unable to see the sky. Psychology calls this the defensive wound effect, where negative experiences make people so cautious they miss out on new opportunities. Smart people understand that losing a bit of trust in the wrong person is nothing compared to losing the ability to open up to the right ones. Trust is like an investment. Sometimes you take losses, but if you stop investing entirely, you also stop any chance of gains. Accepting just enough risk allows you to filter out who's truly worth walking beside. And when you meet the right person, trust becomes a glue stronger than any formal promise. Trusting again isn't naivety. It's choosing to grow without letting fear make your decisions for you. Number 4. Health over fame and fortune. Fame and money may earn you admiration, but health determines whether you can stand strong enough to enjoy them. Many people trade away sleep, meals, and rest to chase deadlines, titles, or bank balances, only to find that the hospital becomes a more frequent check-in spot than their own home. Medical research shows that prolonged stress weakens the immune system and increases the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and mental disorders. The irony is that many only realize the value of health after losing it, forced to spend large sums to buy back something they could have kept almost for free. Smart people prioritize health not because they lack ambition, but because they understand that a strong body is the foundation for any lasting achievement. You can live well without fame and fortune, but you can't hold on to them without health. Choosing to prioritize the right thing early is the most profitable long-term investment you can make. Number 5. Authenticity over pretense. Living true to yourself might cost you the favor of some people, but at least you won't have to maintain a tiring act for life. Faking it to please everyone is like building a wall out of paper. It might look nice at first, but the slightest gust will tear it down. Today's society glorifies image, pushing many to construct a perfect version of themselves just to earn approval. The problem is, the higher that image stands, the wider the gap from your real self, and the pressure to maintain it grows proportionally. Psychologists call this ego incongruence, when a person lives under constant tension to protect an identity that isn't real. Those who understand life choose to live authentically. Because being ordinary doesn't mean being mediocre, it means being free to be yourself without fear of exposure. Being your true self not only lightens the mind, it also fosters genuine relationships where you're valued for who you are, not for a polished facade. Number 6. Accepting loss for long-term gain. The natural instinct is to want the advantage tilted toward yourself, but paradoxically, sometimes taking a small loss opens the door to far greater benefits later. Confucius taught that if you only focus on immediate gain, big goals are hard to achieve. In relationships, those who are willing to yield a little are often seen as more trustworthy, and that very trust can come back to support them at crucial moments. In business, accepting a minor loss to keep a customer or partner can sometimes lead to returns many times greater in the long run. Social psychology calls this the lose-to-win strategy, a form of trust investment, where you give first to lay a solid foundation for the future. On the other hand, those who constantly try to grab small advantages often lose cooperation, and when a big opportunity comes, they have no one left by their side. Accepting loss here doesn't mean enduring permanent disadvantage, it means knowing when to step back so you can move many steps forward later. Number 7, losing gracefully over winning badly. Trying to win every argument might sound like strength, but in reality it's the fastest way to lose respect and valuable relationships. When you focus too much on right versus wrong, you risk turning a conversation into a battlefield where everyone's on the defensive and no one's truly listening. Communication research shows that in many cases, knowing when to stop, yield the floor, or acknowledge the other person's perspective helps preserve connection and builds a foundation for long-term cooperation. Losing gracefully doesn't mean abandoning your stance, it means knowing when to put the relationship above the ego. Winning badly only leaves a bitter taste for both sides, while losing gracefully can turn an opponent into an ally. In life, sometimes the greatest value of a conversation isn't in whether you win or lose, but in the fact that afterward you can still look each other in the eye and smile. Number 8, hard work over indulgence. Indulging too early and for too long often erodes motivation, like a blade growing dull from lack of sharpening. Behavioral researchers have shown that prolonged comfort reduces resilience to pressure and weakens the will to strive. In contrast, periods of hardship, pushing yourself to complete demanding work or overcome challenges, help the brain develop adaptability, build mental stamina, and create a lasting sense of achievement. Many successful people have endured long stretches of near exhaustion, but those times laid the solid foundation that later allowed them to enjoy life without fear of losing it all. Hard work here doesn't mean blindly throwing yourself into labor, but committing to purposeful effort so that every hour you work today becomes an investment in tomorrow's freedom. Comfort only holds real value when you've built enough strength to keep it. Number 9, don't assume everyone is foolish. Many believe they're smarter than others simply because those around them stay silent and don't call out sly behavior. In reality, most people notice petty schemes, they just choose not to speak up to keep the peace or wait for the right moment. In social interactions, short-term cunning might bring immediate gain, but over time it erodes trust, something hard to build yet easy to lose. Social psychology calls this the hidden cost of deceit. You might win a few times, but each win chips away at your credibility in others' eyes. Once credibility is gone, big opportunities steer clear, because no one wants to work with someone they must guard against at every step. Understanding that silence doesn't mean ignorance, but evaluation helps you adjust your behavior and maintain the respect you need to go far. In life, there's truly no such thing as a fool, only those who are watching and waiting to see who you really are. Number 10, listening more than speaking. In a conversation, the speaker often thinks they're in control, but in reality, the power lies with the listener. When you speak, you're only repeating what you already know. When you listen, you have the chance to receive something entirely new. Communication research shows that good listeners tend to create a stronger positive impression because they make the other person feel respected and understood. Listening isn't just silently waiting for your turn to talk, it's actively putting yourself in the other person's perspective, observing both words and body language. This skill helps you gather accurate information, catch things others reveal unintentionally, and avoid hasty reactions that could damage relationships. In today's noisy world, where everyone wants to jump in, the patience to listen is not just politeness but a strategic advantage. Smart people understand that open ears can bring more opportunities than a constantly moving mouth.